What's going on, y'all? It's Jay Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video. Gonna keep this one, the intro of this one short. I actually shot the intro already. As you can hear, I'm kind of sick, as I will be compared to the rest of the video. Got sick the next day, found out that the beginning of the video has sound issues, so reshooting this intro. But as you guys can see, this is the continuation of the top 5 series of all the styles in battle rap. We've done performers, we've done punchers, and now we're doing anglers, topic-based rap, using an actual real-life event to joke on your opponent comedically. You form haymakers and go at them in a hostile fashion. Either way, just always angling is a part of battle rap and how to attack your opponent based off of more real-life stuff. Usual format that we do. Going to go over a couple honorable mentions and then give my top 5 topic-based rappers currently in battle rap that are best at breaking down the angle. And without further ado, let's get right into the honorable mentions. So we can start right off with the honorable mentions, and as usual, we'll try to make it pretty quick. And my first honorable mention is the owner of Bullpen Battle Leagues, John Dodon. Now, for some people, this could be a 50-50 pick. And my thing with John is his results over the last 2 to 3 years as an overall battler. I haven't exactly loved his 2 years before last year. He was obviously coming out very sparingly. When he did, they were pretty dominant losses, the Ill Wills, the Sioux Surfs, right? And then when you get to last year, I did have him losing a majority of his battles last year. I guess that could be a different topic depending on who you talk to. But even those battles I had him losing, let's say 40 Bars and Chef Trez, 2 of the most key ones. Big reason I had him losing was because of rounds where he would go strictly bar for bar against these good writers. I feel like he's a little outdated, some OBC, and just get outpaced when it comes to just straight punchline writing, scheme writing, right? Like just off the strength of creativity and wordplay. But if you look at the highs of John's 2023 and why he landed, higher up on the Cody list, right? Or at least around the top 15, I think he was 14 is where we put him. Big reason of that is angling turns out to be gives him these spotlight moments. If you look at his second versus Chef Trez, the MJ in Chicago career comparison joint that he did with Trez, very, very dope. His best round of that battle. If you look at his third round versus 40 Bars, or just his bright spots for the most part, it is a little bit of just belittling women's battle rap and some classic angles, but it's what got him over the most in that battle compared to some other punchline for punchline writing. His third versus T-Top, not the best battle, but what was the best round of the battle? His angles about angles joint that he did in the third versus T-Top, and then versus Easy the Block Captain, we obviously know very tailored performance. Pretty good bar for bar in that too. I think that was just a return to form for John in general. But as you can hear, I don't even think I mentioned the 2-on-2 with the Flair and Foots, the contract kind of solo moment that he had. I'm naming you topic-based stuff. I need you 4 to 5 different instances in last year where he really showed his best in those battles by angling. I still think that always referred to as a tactician, right? And I think John has never been the best at something, but he's always been really good at a few different things. And if I had to say what was his best trait in his career, it's angling. What is he doing right now good in battle rap? I think he's angling very good right now in battle rap, if nothing else. So for me, definitely worthy of an honorable mention with all those notable moments recently. And then my other only honorable mention is someone who is always in these convos. People have kind of gotten at him for his style of angling recently, but that is T-Top. I can't have a list where I don't consider T-Top, and I'll tell you what, he's been a little more inconsistent in the last few years with that. I think this is someone who is in the conversation for the best angler of all time. So I think even when he dips, he's still giving you moments like his second versus Loso last year. Y'all wanna know why I know Jesus Black, right? And then he also has the Snake Eyes material recently, where his second round, he does the eye thing. He does it in more of a comedic way. A few different approaches in that battle where I thought he was very, very good. And listen, he's had some moments recently. Capo battle, prep battle. If you want to count his overall consistency against him, the gossipiness of it. Listen, that takes him out of the top 5 because some of them have borderline on just a little bit too gossipy at times, or just haven't been pulled off perfectly. But he's still giving you some of the best highs. And I think going into any battle, we still say, even if you feel like he's in a little bit of a slump, there's still always the possibility of a great T-Top angle. And if he's still giving you a few of them, listen, he's not top 5, but he still is giving enough highlights to be mentioned right outside of that conversation, which is why he's my second and final honorable mention. And without further ado, let's get right into the top 5 anglers. So starting off with the first spot on the list, I am going to start at number 5 with Real Sick. someone who across the board has just gotten better at everything in battle rap recently. The man has become a better puncher, better performer, always been a fantastic rapper to pen all the way around, and something he's always been good at, but I think has even gotten better, is angling. I think you look at when he starts off on URL versus Chilla Jones, the Kingpen, royalties overwrittens, things like that. He starts out as a great topic-based rapper. We know that there's been a bit of a metamorphosis, especially post K-Shine loss that he took, where he's just elevating all of his game. And while he was always good topically, angled very good against Arsenal too. I think versus recently, you look at the third round versus A-Ward, kind of the religious dialogue that he had there, his rounds versus Disaster, which for the most part are very tailored. Homeschool, which is even though it's on iBattle, not as notable as some of the others. Maybe you guys haven't watched as much as or heralded as much as some of these other battles, but he had a strategy. You look at that battle first round of third, he's able to kind of strip Homeschool's aura from him, or material is able to kind of bounce off him in a Sharon-like sense. And then really is able to attack his personal character at that. And if you can go back to 2022, his rounds versus New Jersey Twerk, bringing up pretty upfront angles that we know of. Twerk's car crash, right? Twerk forgetting his material, but being able to make it fresh and still make it fire and something of your own version of it. These are all the telltale signs of a great angler. I don't think there's any disagreement there, and an example of what I said earlier, where being a great pen can aid you in your angling, although I consider them two different things, and it's why he starts off the list. And then at number 4, someone, I want to say for this top 4, I'm very confident with the 4 names. Could reorder it, but I truly think these 4 are locked in as the best anglers in battle rap right now. And at number 4, we do have Jazz the Rapper, someone who, because of her angling prowess, many consider the best female battle rapper, not just at the moment, but of all time. And obviously, she's been competing with the men at that same level. You look at what she did with Vixen in 2022. I mean, you look at the style breakdown, particularly in the second round. I think that alone is enough to have her in this convo. I don't think I have to do too much to explain why Jazz the Rapper is one of the best anglers, but I might have to explain why I have her a couple spots down, because I don't know if y'all hear the plane going by, but some people may argue her up, but for me, the reason she's a 4, if you look at last year, what are the peaks in her material in battles last year? It's her first rounds, man. Her first round versus Clips, first round versus Big K, first round versus Twerk, first round versus Nitty. Those are all punching rounds. She is punching, she's going bar for bar, and she's kicking in the heads of some of the best bar for bar rappers in the world, which was very impressive. Now, where do I see the faults in those particular battles? Well, her third versus Big K in second, a little bit more angle-based. The stumbles came in, but I don't think the angles landed too crazy either. Not her worst, just not some of her best. I think versus Twerk, the scroll was incredible. I don't think it worked as good versus K again, but I thought it was incredible when she did it versus Twerk. But then you also have the second and third versus Clips, which is angle-based, some of her worst material last year. And you look at her third versus Nitty, the AAU, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, the recycling angle. Solid, but not some of her best. Her best material last year was bar for bar, and I actually think Jazz, for the most part, was missing more in her angles than she's used to. So for that, I drop her under some of the other elites who are still doing it at that level, a little bit more consistent when we look at last year, but just off of pure that what she can do with an angle. And for the most part, what she's done the past couple years, plus that peak that we know she can reach, like in a Vixen battle, she has to make this list, but inconsistency drops her down to number 4. From there, we get into the top 3, and at number 3, someone for the last few years I had at number 1 easily, to be honest with you. Funny kind of play on words there, but some recent changes in style a bit make me have to drop him a couple spots, and that is Easy the Block Captain. I do have it number 3, and listen, when he was going through his humongous all-time level win streak, and the way he was doing it was by character assassination. He said it to Hitman. I'm a Hitman too. What do I assassinate? Character. And I could go on and on about some of the angles that he has here, man. The Shine refurbished. Talk about Shine changing up his style when he battled him. Let's go to 2021. How about 2022? The way that he was breaking down goods. In the Calico battle, he does a BMF your pops angle. He does the 80th version of it, and it still hits. He still somehow finds a way to make that angle his own. His second round versus Hitman Hollow, talking about Cinnamon and her wife. God, Hitman's wife Cinnamon. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? She made it through, but he made that a killer angle up on that stage. And the list goes on and on of Easy the Block Captain angles that have landed. You look at what he did versus Reed Dallas, talking about him running off with the deposit on ARP. Out of everyone here, I might be able to actually physically list the most angles over the last few years. And on top of that, for a long time as a counter writer, it was incredible what he was doing, predicting other people's angles and approaches coming in and shutting that down. So not only is he attacking you, he's angling your angles to take validity away from him. It was a whole different level of tailoredness, and it's still a level of tailoredness that he keeps up for the most part. But you look at a couple battles last year. I thought versus Diz, thought versus Geechee, particularly in that second round. There's sometimes some of that topic-based rapping falls a little bit flat, particularly versus Geechee, right? And then as it went forward, and listen, this is why 2024, like I said, for the performers list is such a big year for Easy. Between Geechee and John, there's no counter writing. That was one of the best things he did and separated him the most as a talent. Maybe he's not able to talk about it, and that is what it is, but I still got to grade it. I still got to count it because you were doing it elite here, and you've basically abandoned it ever since then or done substantially worse at it. So for those reasons, while there's other guys that you'll understand my argument for the two people above him that are at number 1 and 2 for angling, I think Easy is just about as good as them, but I have to find a way to nitpick and find that difference. And for me, even though it's just his last couple battles, you could debate he's got the most work of it, but the last couple battles is showing a trend where he's moving very far away maybe from angling, and that being the absolute backbone of his style. So for all those reasons, still top 3 in the world. People will probably debate him higher, but for the very recent transactions and a possible change in style, I had to drop him from what was once a number 1 lock spot to number 3. And that leaves you with your last 2, and at your runner-up, we have someone who caught angle of the year, moment of the year, footage of the year last year on our number 3 spot, and that is Geechee Gotti at the number 2 spot. And he's also historically been known, and it should be more in the historical angler convo. Geechee has had some of the biggest and best angles in battle rap by far. First round versus Tay-Rock, and third round versus Easy the Block Captain. You could even go into the angles that he's brought for JC, what he did versus Rum Nitty on Gnome 11 in the rematch, and the teammate talk that he kind of had there, as well as his own version of his Calico's father's angle in the second round. Very similar to Easy. Bullet point, we could list 15 to 20 fantastic angles he's had, but in terms of recent time, some of his best work, in my opinion, has been angling versus Jones for the most part, although we clowned him. A lot of angling in that. You look at the one-rounder he just had with Enes. Angle the shed of Enes. Easy the Block Captain obviously beats him in a mega match with the third round that is mostly based around just talking to his soul, although there was a lot of bar for bar in that battle as well. I just think it's the peaks that he's able to reach. There is usually an approach every battle because Geechee's not, he doesn't punch as much or rely just straight on punching as much as he used to. Obviously, he still does that to a high degree, but I think when he's at his best is when he is honed in on his opponent and something tailored, and that's why at this point in his career, people get worried about Geechee. Really, he's a threat to body people. I mean, you could always get bodied any day in battle rap, but people are afraid. You look at what he's done to Enes, Mike P before that, and how historic that was. When he does really zone in on a topic, he has the ability to put you on a career highlight. And for those reasons, and the fact that many of them were recent, have to have Geechee here in the top 2. And at the number 1 spot, a pretty simple one for me, because what helps show that you are currently the best at something than winning the single most prestigious individual award by way pretty much of angling, and that is our current champion of the year, Big K, who I have as the number 1 angler as we speak. And if you look at last year's list, he's always been known as a puncher. He's on my top punchers list, right? But I don't think that is really what took him over the mountain, over the hill this year and won him the award, right? If you look at his A-Ward battle, there is some topic-based rapping in that. Grudge match starts off talking about A-Ward getting sick. In the third, he talks about URL a bit, obviously brings up religion, but for the most part, I think he punched out A-Ward. I think he really just bombed on A-Ward. But the rest of last year, man, his 3 rounds versus Murder Mook are all extremely tailored. I love the culture vulture kind of flip that he does in the second. We know by the third with the Yes Jules situation, all different types of approaches for Mook. That's only naming the key ones. From there, you get Rex. His first round versus Rex is literally an angle. His whole first round versus Rex is an angle. His whole second round versus Rex is a whole other angle. No punches, none of that. I mean, really angle-based round. That is an angle from beginning of the round to the end. And they were fantastic. Versus Young Ill, his whole approach of, yo, to you this is a return, to me this is repetition, describing the difference between maybe a wash vet coming back or someone that's been out of the culture compared to the active greats who are favored to win these battles and don't get that expectation curve, which I think is creative to talk about considering how much we talk about it in the results of battles. Sharon, a little bit more comedy based, the whole solar panel joint and all that, versus Jazz, probably some of his weakest stuff, but even then, pretty tailored, talking about the difference between men and women's battle rap, a little bit upfront, just blatant disrespect, but still angling at that. And for me, it's made up most of his material this year while the punches are still there. Like I said, he's used it to win a lot of these battles, obviously went on to win Champion of the Year with it, and for me, it's been his most dangerous tool, and why in many of these matchups, Big K versus Tay-Rock, even a Big K versus Easy, his ability to do character assassination is why I look at him as such a dangerous competitor in these matchups. And it makes me realize, as we speak, Big K is probably more of an angler than he is a puncher, and in my opinion might be is a better angler than he is a puncher right now, which just goes to show in one of the rare cases in battle rap where I think that you have a guy that was categorized as one thing, and his game, he's developed his game so much and gotten so undeniably better in another category, you can't just call him a puncher anymore. It's impossible. And for me, like I'll say it again, like I said in the beginning, what better way to show that you're the best at something than to use it to win the I'm the best at something award. And for me, all those reasons is why I have Big K as the current best angler in battle rap, man. But these are my top 5 anglers, couple honorable mentions there as well. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments section down below. Probably, and there's some people that I didn't make this list I still think are great. I think you look at a Hitman Holla, I always think is underrated in this category. If you want to go extremely underrated, I'd say Holmesy the God is someone else who really does a good job every battle, usually having at least one different approach, although he hasn't hit the levels of impact as some of the other people here. But if there's anyone you feel like I missed in terms of the best angler topic-based rappers in the world, please let me know in the comment section down below. We still have pens on the way. It might have maybe one more category after that before I wrap up this little mini series. Might do it every year. We'll see how it is going forward, because you guys are showing a lot of love on it. I do appreciate that very much. But it's been Jay Smo Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.